Boy, gente, what's going on? We got Schumer over here, keeping us company. Right now, I'm about to walk you guys through my first ever attempt of making agar to grow mushroom mycelium. Here I am measuring out potato flakes to trying to make it go to 12 grams. Doing a ratio of I think it's 3 to 1. It's 3 grams of potato flakes, 2 grams of agar, and 1 gram of corn syrup to a half a cup of distilled water. So, got a little messy, clean it up. Nothing crazy. I want to give a big thanks to Philly Golden Teacher. That's the YouTube channel. Goes by, I think, PGT as well. He has a video called PGT Agar Cups Recipe. Easy as 1, 2, 3. That's the video that I was following myself to learn how to do these steps. So this is my attempt at doing his recipe to the best of my ability. So the video kind of messed up here and there. There were some parts that in the editing just was giving issues, so I decided to cut it out. But you don't see me actually weighing out the 4 grams. Sorry, 8 grams, I think is what it was. 8 grams of the agar, and here I am adding. I was supposed to be 4, but I had, even in the video he does say you can go a little bit over, just by, not by much. So I had just went over a hair, but at that point you're ready to go. This is where I had the distilled water, showing the line of half a cup. So I'm going to go ahead and add, that is the distilled water. I'm doing this half a cup at a time, just so I can get it as accurate as possible. This is the pot that I'm going to be boiling the water in. And there we go again. Another, sorry, I think this is a full cup if I'm not mistaken. I do this twice because I need 2 cups in there. So boom, 2 cups. That other mason jar has all the recipe, has the concoction ingredients in it. Here we are turning it up to high. It actually does not take long to boil. I don't know why. I thought with the mix of ingredients maybe it would take a little longer, but it really doesn't. So again, like I said, I had some issues with some editing stuff, so it wouldn't catch the actual drop. That little footage got cut, but pretty much just dump it all in there, let it go to a boil, give it a good mix. I try to make sure just that any parts that look chunky just broke down, and make sure that it was as fine as powder as possible. So here you go, you see the boil. You do have to like not agitate it, because if you do that, you can see right there you don't really see the boil that much. If you're really messing around with it, you won't really see it boil. So let it chill, make sure that it is truly boiling. You don't want to overdo the boil either, apparently. So as soon as you start kind of seeing it, boom, I just cut it off, and that's it. Again, this is your potato flakes, agar, and corn syrup. Should be able to find all these things. I don't know about the agar. I ordered mine online, but the potato flakes, which is like instant mashed potatoes, and the corn syrup, you can find that at your local Kroger, Farmers Market, Albertsons, Walmart, whatever you guys have, Publix, Food for Less. So, like I said, this was me just making sure if I saw any parts that looked like they were chunky, like I was just using the spoon to like kind of just pinch it down against the bottom of the pot or against the sides, just to truly make sure it was broken down, get it as fine a powder as possible. Do make sure not to burn yourself. You did just boil some water. You will be dealing with hot liquid. So please be safe. I used mittens, oven mittens, just to make sure. And even with that, it was still hot. I could still feel it. So that's the concoction right there. Now it's suggested that you add food coloring, specifically blue. Apparently, it helps with seeing contamination quicker if there is any contamination to be had. So I kind of just let that play so y'all can kind of see it just go into everything. It looked pretty dope. It looked like just like a cloud in space, a little nebula of something. Give it a good mix, because after this we gotta pressure cook it. But it doesn't take long, couple spins. I've never used food coloring before. 34 years old, not even as a child, nothing. Took me experimenting with my mushrooms and beginner mycology stages of my life for me to use some food coloring. But here I am just filling up the pressure cooker with water 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. I think there's even a 5th time. 5th time. 6, why not? Fuck it. Just make sure I have a line already there. So, and you guys will see when this sits in there. You do want to make sure that the cap is not completely tight. Like, oh, give it a spin and then just give it like a good quarter spin off. Like you can see it's loose. I got some wiggle. You want that to happen. What's going to happen is the pressure cooker will steam up and the steam will get in there. And then that hot steam is what's going to sterilize that. Because this is essentially a stage of sterilization. That's the whole purpose of this. So here I am trying to show you guys to be sure that the O-ring on your pressure cooker is set correctly. That's, you're going to see like a little rubber gasket, which I was talking to a buddy of mine. I think I may have to replace mine at this point. It might just be worn. Because sometimes it takes a while for me to get a good seal, but I got lucky with mine this point. I was doing good. Once you have it set how you need, go ahead and lock it in tight. A lot of them, from my understanding, will have like a locking type of, you got to give it a turn. I think I've seen others where they kind of lock down too. But put it on high. That's the weight that's going to go right there where I'm pointing, where the steam comes out. And there's Schumer keeping us company, watching our backs. Anytime it comes to the mushrooms, he's always there, chilling like a villain. So while that's heating up, I'm going to take this time to work on what we're going to be working on. There's a little still air box. I have alcohol. I think that's the 60% in that bottle. I would have preferred 90 or 91% isopropyl alcohol, but since the whole pandemic, it's kind of hard to find 90%. So I use what I can get. But you want to make sure you sterilize your area, sanitize. Just make sure you give it a good wipe, a good clean down. Anytime you're dealing with mushroom work, you just want to make sure you're as clean as you can be, to the best of your ability, just to avoid any kind of contamination or anything like that. So I got this still air box. I made it off of a little storage bin from Walmart. So this is like gonna be like my second or third time using it. I haven't been doing much mycology work lately. So this is my attempt of getting right back into it, going pretty hard into it these next couple weeks. Just all the stages from beginning to end, liquid culture, from starting liquid culture to making agar plates, which is what this video is. I'll make a video on how I did the liquid culture one of these days. But there it is. Go back to seeing. So the video doesn't show it that well, but there was steam coming out of here pretty good. So you do want to make sure you have a pretty good steady stream. I usually lower the temp a little bit, and then that helps get the stream coming out pretty good. Sorry, that was my dog Charlie. So here I am with the gauge. You want,
And
there we go with
it's
the better lighting. Here it is starting to climb. You want to get it to 15 psi for 30 minutes. All right. I'm used to having to do it for an hour and a half because when you're sterilizing rice to inoculate with liquid culture, they say you got to pressure cook for an hour and a half at 15 psi. But doing this for 30 minutes, it was cake. So here it is going up to 10. The weight is still not bouncing. It'll start dancing like around 14, 15 ish. You do want it'll start bobbling back and forth. So you see there it is right there, 15, starting to wiggle. And it will do that on its own. You don't have to move it. You don't have to do anything to it to kickstart it. You're good. Once I get to 15 psi, I control the temp so that it doesn't continue to climb. You want it to stay down right at 15. I usually have it like at 15 and a half, 16, kind of just right in that little mark right there. So that, and it all depends on your pressure cooker. Just that's all trial and error. Do your best. So here's me setting the timer for 30 minutes, letting it rock. And I do come back to it and check it periodically just to make sure everything's good. There's a good seal. There's no buildup in anything. Like I always make sure if I'm doing anything with the pressure cooker that I am home, that I'm not gonna go anywhere, leave, and then come back and do it. So 30 minutes are up. Turn the fire off. That stops dancing, and then you're gonna let the pressure cool down by itself naturally, and then that's it. Then this is what you're left with. Just a side note, it will take somewhere between maybe 20 or 30 minutes for it to cool down naturally. So I just expedited the process and showed you this. So this is my temp gun to see the temperature of the agar mixture. You do want to work between temps of 140 and 160 if you're using um, like those ketchup condiment cups, which you'll be seeing me use. Because if it's any hotter, you could potentially like melt and warp the plastic. Apparently, so um, I don't know if this is the case if you're using or intend to use like the little glass mason jars, which I do want to try that as well. With glass, you don't really have to worry much about heat, so I don't think it would matter. Because honestly, the hotter you work with it, the more the more time you would have before it, because it'll solidify as it cools. So to me, it would make more sense. It would make sense to say that the hotter it is, the better it is to work with. So here I am sanitizing the jar, which also I think cooled it down a little quicker because when I checked the temps after I did this, I feel like it went down pretty rapidly, unless the room itself was cooler than I thought it was. But again, like I said earlier, just sanitize. Always make sure to sanitize, clean. It's easy to have the alcohol in a little spray bottle. That's what I would recommend if you're able to do so. It just makes it easier than just trying to flip the bottle, pour it on like a paper towel or something like that. Just my opinion. So here I am checking how cold it is or how hot, however you want to say it. And look, we're like about 150, 140 if you can manage to see that. So, like I said, you want to be between 140 and 160. So I was seeing about 150 ish, which isn't bad. I always try to give it a good, nice little spin just to make sure everything's nice and mixed. What I did is I try to do it as best as I could to the video that I saw where he just had all the cups laid out. In the future, I'm gonna try to get a better angle. I can see that, or maybe I'll have somebody recording me in the future. Um, but this is to the best of my ability at the moment with the tripod and everything and the limited space in the tent. This had this could it would show the most here. So just do note that in the still air box, it got very foggy at some point because obviously you're dealing with the hot liquid and it just steams up in there. Just physics, y'all. Physics. So here I am pouring it in. I would say anywhere between halfway to a third of the way full is probably your best bet. In terms of amount. I honestly thought I was gonna have enough or that I made enough for 10 cups. And I made enough for like way more than that. I think it ended up being like 20 or so. So gonna be doing a lot of stuff with the Agar if everything turned out all right. Here's my big ass head just blocking the way. Sorry about that. So, like in the video, the guy has all the cups laid out already with the lids right there. So as soon as you pour, you do your 3 pours, you pop the lid up, which took me a little while to get the trick on how to pour it, because if you put too much pressure from the bottom, you end up bending the cup. Like, it's not that hard of a plastic. So I had to find the right pressure and distribute the pressure the right way so it could actually snap in place, and then like I don't have it bent. Like, it just be sealed properly. So here I am showing the pour again. Again, like I said, hopefully in the future I can get a better angle of it, but you guys pretty much just get the gist of it. You guys can see already starting to get foggy. Like, look at my complexion in comparison, and the glove in comparison to the glove in there. Like, everything is just different. Like towards the end, I would have thought towards the end it wouldn't have been so foggy because there was less in there, but I felt like there was more. It got more steamy towards the end. But that's what you're left with right there. It looks like a Jello shot, to be honest with you. A friend of mine thought that's what it was when they saw it in the kitchen, and I was like, no, no, not that. So I think I made 21. It looks like 5 stacks of 4 plus the one on top. 5 stacks of 4 plus the one on top. Yeah, so 20 plus the one. So I made about 21. All right. Just not bad at all. Not bad at all. This is my first attempt at making agar. I hope this kind of gives you guys some inspiration and motivation to try it out for yourselves. If you guys have any questions, ask me. I'll try to help you guys to the best of my ability. Aside from that, follow the channel if you guys want some more stuff like this. This is going to be my experiment from beginner to expert.